Everybody has a story to tell, and CaVR is on a mission to help share those stories. Join us on our quest as we travel throughout the many worlds inside of Vrchat and sit down to interview some of the most unique individuals we can find. Warning, the stories being told in this series may deal with upsetting topics you may find disturbing. If you have a story you'd like to share, find our email in the description of this video and reach out to us. We're here to help.
The craziest night of my life was when I got high on mushrooms in the woods by myself and had sex with an alien. My wife since divorced me and has taken full custody of the children, but in my mind, I still don't think this counts as cheating, but the judge ruled otherwise, and now my life has basically hit rock bottom. I mean, I lost everything just because I gave in to temptation that night and had sexual intercourse with an extraterrestrial.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time trying to understand this. It's just a lot to unpack.
You're telling me, imagine being the one involved. It's the epitome of a bittersweet situation. It's like super bitter because I lost everything. My family and money, it's all gone. But I'd be lying if I didn't say there's a sweetness to it because it was hands down the best sex I've ever had in my entire life. We're talking 4 straight hours of raw, magic mushroom lovemaking, deep in the woods.
What were you doing there alone in the first place?
You know, everyone deals with managing stress in their own way. The way I like to escape the rat race is to just take my tent into the woods, reconnect with the earth, and recenter myself. I set up a tent, I start up a fire, I take my mushrooms, and I stare into the stars until I pass out. I've done this same routine, I don't even know how many times, but on this particular night, it was like different. I kept hearing this crackling sound, like footsteps, coming from just around my campsite. It was really tripping me out, so I got up to go check it out. And out of nowhere, this cute little face pops up from behind a tree and takes my breath away. It was just the cutest deer. And before I could even reach my hand out to pet it, it started sprinting away from me. At this point, the mushrooms were kicking in big time. And I don't know why, but Mother Nature was telling me to run after this deer. Before you know it, I'm in this wild deer chase in the middle of the woods for absolutely no reason, and I'm loving it. I wasn't gonna kill it or anything, I just wanted to run with it. At one point, it felt as though we were running side by side in unison, and it was honestly such a beautiful moment. That is, of course, until the deer peeled away, and I ended up running straight off a mini cliff into a freezing cold river. All of a sudden, the lights, up there's this purple light washing over me and the entire forest. I had no idea what was going on, but as a man who was tripping out on shrooms, it was a beautiful sight to see. I went to get out of the river, but when I turned to step out, that's where I saw it. The alien was just standing there, staring right at me, similar to how the deer was staring at me, but in a more seductive way. And then what happened next felt like it was right out of a nature documentary. The alien started doing some sort of dance, which at the time I didn't understand, but looking back at it, it was definitely some sort of mating ritual. It was flapping its arms around, twisting and turning in all sorts of ways. Sexual energy was pouring out of this thing. It was like I was being put under a spell, like some sort of alien sex spell or something. I've never been so turned on in my entire life. I couldn't even begin to understand why. Look, I've never cheated on my wife, but something about this alien connected with me on a deep spiritual level. I didn't have a choice. Once the alien's dance was done, the lovemaking commenced immediately. The next 4 hours of lovemaking flew by. I never knew a human man could climax that many times without passing out. I couldn't stop. And the alien was being so encouraging throughout the entire thing. I didn't want to stop.
Forgive me if this is a stupid question, but how did you have sex? Was their anatomy similar to ours? What was that like?
That's not a stupid question at all. I guess the best way to describe it is that their shape is similar to ours, but all their holes are different. Different textures, smells, different tastes. Nothing like our holes whatsoever. We wish our holes were like theirs. It felt like putting your penis in a vacuum, but in a good way.
After that, what happened next?
Well, it came back to my campfire and just laid with me, staring up at the stars until I fell asleep. I woke up the next morning and it was gone. I know it was just one night, but it was something special to me.
What was your wife's reaction to all this?
Initially, she laughed and took it as a joke, but then once I sat her down and explained everything bit by bit, she did not take it well. I saw a side of her I never knew she had. I vividly remember sitting down on the couch while she just scolded me. You fucked an alien? Are you serious? You put your penis into an unknown creature. How stupid and irresponsible are you? How do you know it was an alien and not just some weird animal? You have a drug problem, you moron, and I've had enough of it. I'm taking the kids to my mother's. We're getting divorced. But hey, that's life. I just sat there and took my lumps. You know, that's how it goes sometimes. I didn't do this to hurt her, but I was now in love with something else, and she deserved to know. I know I'm not innocent here, but you have to put yourself into my shoes. This sexy being pops up out of nowhere and seduces the hell out of me, making me feel like the sexiest thing on planet Earth. How could I not go through with it? Anyone in that situation would give in the way I did.
Have you been able to come into contact with the alien since? And has the affair continued?
No. That's the part that hurts the most. My ex-wife will move on and be happy. I can still see my kids with supervised visits on Sundays. They're gonna be fine, but me, well, the love of my life came and went, and I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to relive that again. I hope people listen to this, take my advice. True love is rare. So many people live this life just settling, and that is just a complete waste. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Bet on yourself. Live your truth. And never give up until you're happy. That's all I can say. If you ever find yourself in the woods with an alien, do not be scared. They come in peace, and who knows? They may teach you a thing or two along the way.